Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy, you're amazing. And oh, do we have something that we've got to tell you about the nefarious Biden administration. They're at it again behind the scenes, this time doing all kinds of shenanigans against veterans again. It's weird how they keep on focusing on the people who fought for our rights and sacrificed themselves for others. But they still, you know what? They can't have gun rights. It's really important. So we're going to have to veto, and we're going to have to really strong arm the Congress, even though it's hypocritical. But we're going to get into all of it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Sarcasm and humor activated. Tim, let's get it. I really don't like Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Is that okay? Is it okay I don't like her that much?
Yeah, she looks like a corpse with a bad hairdo. Nope. So what?
Wow.
I'm sorry. That's the Gen X in me.
That was very mean. That was very harsh.
We shouldn't attack people, Braden, on their appearances.
That's right. We shouldn't.
Okay.
See, that's
you tried to set me up with that dude with the goofy eye.
I did.
You tried.
I did, but that one never made the internet because we were in trouble.
Okay. We didn't post that one.
On you.
Okay.
No,
dang it.
No, that one.
There was a good one, folks. That was a good one.
That didn't cut through the mustard. We would have gotten in trouble.
I crossed too many lines. Yeah,
you did.
I tend to do that.
Okay.
I tend to do that. Okay,
anyway. But let's talk about. That's really funny though. Let's talk about gun owners of America because they were onto something last night, and I think this is a very important piece. So, for everybody watching, and you, Tim, of course, recall how there was this huge, massive fight from the left when Congress was passing the budgets, and basically the Democrats were saying that the House is doing nothing and they're not passing anything and they want the whole world to die and everything's on fire because they don't want to pass any appropriations bills. Remember all that?
Yeah.
Well, that was about 2 months ago. So in that, they got ATF cuts, they got FBI cuts, and they also got the ability to remove this little nuance that the left likes to do of taking veterans' gun rights through saying they're mentally incompetent because they can't balance checkbooks. Well, the House said that's out of here. This is a big victory. We talked about it. Well, they're back, and let me show you what they're doing here. So first thing I'm going to show you, Tim, and the beautiful people, is number 6. This is a post from GOA. And by the way, they did really good work on this because this turned around very fast. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz is dead wrong. The Department of Veterans Affairs has disarmed 261,168 veterans with the fiduciary program. Again, that's the financial assistance program. No other American with a fiduciary is prohibited from possessing firearms, which is a constitutional right. So now let's see what all the hubbub's about. And then I'm going to show you what the White House is threatening. So this is number 7 to set it up.
When you have a veteran who has been referred to a fiduciary to take over their finances, that means that they are actually prohibited by federal law from buying or possessing a gun. And this bill carves out an exception and prevents the VA from referring a veteran who would otherwise not be able, under federal law, to purchase or possess a gun to continue to do so. And that's dangerous to the veteran.
That's a complete fabrication.
Can I just say that it looks like she climbed up an ugly tree this morning and fell down and hit every branch on the way down? I can't say that.
If it's in a hypothetical.
Hypothetically. I doubt she was.
Hypothetically, I think we're good.
Okay, good.
I think we're good.
Wow, yes. What an awful person. You know, like you said, it's they for whatever reason love to go after the veteran community. And why do you think that is? I'd say 80+% of the veteran community would vote conservatively, right? So they're an easy punching bag. Thank you for your service, by the way. Hand in all your rights at the door when you discharge, right? So they constantly go after them. I mean, how absurd is it to say, well, they're struggling with balancing a checkbook, therefore you give up your rights to own a firearm. Thank you for your service. It's
or do your First Amendment rights
or your First Amendment, or anything,
rights.
right?
I mean,
they're constantly targeting this community. Meanwhile, they want to make sure that other communities, like law enforcement communities, well, if you retire, you get to keep your gun and carry it everywhere on airplanes, whatever.
Correct.
But hey, if you're a veteran and fight for our rights overseas, come back all messed up, physically, mentally, and everything else, and just really struggle with your time, having served this country and protecting the freedoms in the Constitution. Oh, sorry for you. Yeah, that whole Bill of Rights thing, it doesn't apply to you anymore. Thanks again for your service. No. It's so annoying.
That's the point. It's disgusting. That approach and that impact on that group of people overall, whole, equal, disgusting. Because these people, like you said, they sacrifice themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally for something greater than themselves. And then that greater than themselves turns around and says, yeah, but you can't have your gun rights when you come back because you can't balance a checkbook.
Yep.
So instead of funding the VA in an appropriate way, instead of providing oversight and the best care possible, because these people literally gave up a lot for our country, this is what they do. They don't go in the, how could you not fund everything they need? They go down the road of, well, it's dangerous, so they shouldn't have their gun rights. Well, I'm going to lie about fiduciary responsibilities. So, I mean, it's really something that hits close to my vest. I'm not a veteran. I never served, but it really irritates me because those who did are getting this kind of treatment. So therefore, I'm just going to fight them every day over on my little war. Anyway, here we go. This is what the White House has decided to right the ship with. And you tell me when this starts to get a little uncomfy with things that we've said prior in this video. This is number 8. White House threatens to veto H.R. 8580, the Department of Veteran Affairs funding bill, because a GOA-backed provision prohibits Joe Biden's bureaucrats from disarming Americans. So tell me how this makes sense on any level, Tim. And this is for people in the gun world watching Second Legacy who don't really fully understand all the pieces because you simply don't have time to follow all the shenanigans. They spent 2 and 3 months berating the Republicans because they were saying they didn't want to fund anything in the government. They want to see the entire thing burned to the ground. And then when they passed appropriations bills, now all of a sudden they're going to veto the entire thing because of one of their pet projects.
Yep. And that pet project being harassing veterans. So
correct.
It's
exactly right.
It's just disgusting behavior. And the fact that, but look, I mean, the Democrats have no fear of doing these things because the vast majority of their party doesn't even like the country that they live in. They think that they won't even fly the American flag. They'll fly every other flag under the sun, just not the American flag. Take a look at the Democrats in Congress. How many of them wear American flags on their suits and you know, whatever they're wearing, pantsuits, whatever. They don't wear American flags.
Well, you're talking about the Democrats in Congress. That's something you've said a lot. You're not talking about Democrats every
Democrats
day.
in
You're talking
Congress.
about right, the leaders, right.
The people that head the party that vote all these stupid laws into existence. They won't even be seen with an American flag because to them, they believe it represents every ism on the planet. Yeah, just oppression. Let's just call it oppression. They hate this country. They want to destroy it, and they want to punish those that are willing to defend it, like veterans. It is so transparent what they're doing here, and the fact that the Democrats so hate this country and so hate every tenet that has made this country what it is, and they want to unravel it all, and they're willing to do that, starting with the veterans, because they just hate freedom, folks, and that's why this is going to play fine for them. It's going to play fine for them because it panders to their base that doesn't even like the country they live in.
It's also deep inside the political goings on and nuance of how the government works. So it's so far beyond the cameras that it's something they can get away with. But anyway, check this out. Here's on the first page. This is number 9. This is a statement of administration policy. This is them basically saying, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, we're going to veto. Right down there, the first highlighted portion, if the president were presented with H.R. 8580, he would veto it. Now, this is the important part. And to be quite honest, it opens up a whole different can of worms when you go to number 10. This is the second page on this statement from the White House, okay? That yellow big box, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to read it to you really quickly. I'm going to stop halfway because there's something very concerning. Listen to this. The National Instant Criminal Background Check System, the administration strongly opposes Section 261 of the bill, which would prohibit the VA from reporting a person determined to be mentally incompetent during the VA benefits evaluation process without the order or finding of a judge, magistrate, or other judicial authority. So that's what they're upset about. They're upset that the VA can't act unilaterally outside of a judge, magistrate, or judicial authority. That sounds kind of like due process, doesn't it, Tim?
Yeah. I mean, look, when you're in the military, you give up almost all your rights, right? But when you're out of the military, that's a different story. These are now veterans. They are regular civilians again. And what they're trying to do here is to pretend like they still have the power of the contract hanging over them because they will treat you like a sub-citizen in the military, right? And so, I mean, there's certain things you can't even do in the military, like be politically active and go out there and endorse candidates and things like that in uniform. There's things that you're not supposed to do. And they govern that very, very thoroughly. But when you get out of the military, you're just a regular civilian. But here they're trying to say, well, you know, ignore that Constitution, Bill of Rights and all that stuff about due process. Yeah, that doesn't really apply to veterans. Even though they're not even in the military anymore and that contract that they signed that gave up their rights is now expired, we're still going to treat them like they're under that contract. And we're just going to say, nope, no rights for you.
Cogs in the machine.
Yeah, I mean, it is disgusting the fact that they're opposed to just following due process,
right,
and having a judge declare them or What?
No. They're upset. They're upset that the Republicans want a judge.
Well, I know, but they exactly. They don't want exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They want to do
insane.
this outside of due process, which the judge represents due process. And so, it's just, hey, thanks for your service. By the way, you have no rights. Now shut up
you're Trump.
and disappear. Right.
Yeah. So now this kind of goes to what you just said. I'm going to pick it up again from the same point. Potential beneficiaries deemed mentally incompetent already can obtain further review of that determination. So what they're saying is, we've already got a process to appeal it after we deem you incompetent. Does that sound like red flag laws at all?
Oh yeah, it's exact inverse of due process once again.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
So let me say this last part. This is going to kind of set you up. You're going to jump on something here. The proposed revision would effectively prohibit VA from reporting mentally incompetent beneficiaries who need a fiduciary to the National Instant Criminal Background Check System, thus creating a dangerous loophole that would allow these individuals to obtain firearms and endanger their safety and the safety of their communities.
Crap, it's a loophole again.
We found another one. We found another loophole. I hate them.
Gosh,
all the time.
This is quantum physics. They just randomly appear. And they
like string theory.
suck everything in. A loophole, people. Well, they did. Oh, why didn't they tell us at the beginning of the article? We got to stop the loopholes.
It would have gotten more attention, I think.
Keep in mind
that is fair.
These are the same people that spit on veterans coming home from the Vietnam War 60 years ago. And look what they're doing. They're spitting on them once
it's the
again.
Same ideology. It may not be the exact same people. It's the ideology.
Well, some of them, like Joe Biden.
Well, that's true. Or
he's been around spitting on veterans since 1865. So.
Oh, snap. Civil War reference. I like that. That's good. So that's the threat, Tim. That's the threat of the veto power of the president. All of a sudden, none of it matters about funding or appropriations or anything. It's really important. It's all about punishing those veterans.
How dare those swarmy Republicans hold up funding? Oh, we're going to veto this funding bill because we don't get our pet project of, basically
destroying the rights of
harassing veterans into oblivion. Jackwagons. Thanks for watching Second Legacy. We'll talk to you guys soon.